So when is a principal liable for the tortious acts of their agent? In a special agent relationship, if the special agent carries on the act or action intended by the principal, then the principal is bound by the acts of that limited or special agent. But when you have a general agent like an employee, the principal is going to be bound by their acts and liable potentially in tort for their acts when the agent is acting within the scope of their authority. Now, the scope of their authority is subject to a great deal of interpretation, but it's the natural task and undertakings that are in furtherance of or in pursuance of the principal's business. Okay, so if the agent is acting on behalf of, in furtherance of the principal's business, then the principal could be liable for the tortious activity of the agent. Okay, now the exception to this is when the agent goes outside the scope of their authority. It's called a frolic and detour is the common legal parlance, but it's basically when the employee, the agent, again, undertakes tasks for their own means or their own cause that is not authorized, sanctioned by the employer, and that somehow breaks their agency relationship. And in that situation, they're acting on behalf of themselves and not on behalf of the employer. To give you an example of that, say, for example, an agent employee is driving a vehicle for the employer and gets in a wreck while delivering parts to a client. Well, this would be well within the scope of the employment relationship. The agent was acting on behalf of the employer to deliver product to a purchaser from the business. Now, if the employee had taken the company vehicle home on the weekends and was not authorized to do so and was using it and driving for personal purposes and got in that same accident, that would be outside the scope of employment because he or she was not acting on the principal's behalf in that situation. So again, that would be a frolic and detour and outside the scope of employment, and that would relieve the principal for liability for that tortious conduct. Now, the agent always, for any tortious conduct, will always be personally liable for torts committed to third parties, even if done in furtherance of the principal's business. Okay, that's just the nature of tort liability. Individuals are always liable for their own tortious conduct.